in this lesson, you're going to be learning a little bit more about what was called the manor system or the manorial system. So feudalism, of course, worked where everybody in society, as we said, has their role and a particular role to play in society in order for everything to work properly. Part of that is called the manor system. So one of the most important things, of course, you need to survive is food. The idea was that people living in these kingdoms in Europe didn't want to associate with other kingdoms. They didn't want outside help. They wanted to be self-sufficient. They didn't want to have to ask outsiders for help. So in order to do that, you needed to produce all the things you needed to survive. Because again, this time period is really about survival and your basic needs. So the manor system is basically describes the farm system, but it's more than just the farms that are on the kingdom. So basically, you don't see in this picture, you don't see a castle. The king typically lived in some kind of castle, and the size of their castle depended on their wealth. So you don't see a castle here. It would be off somewhere in the distance, maybe further off. Now the lords, the people that are just below the king, they might own a manor, which is this large house right here. And on this manor, and by the way, the size of the manor might depend on how wealthy that particular lord was. So this one is a pretty good size house. But notice around that manor, that lord, is this entire area that looks a lot like a town. The lord literally controls everything about this manor. They can decide the rules, the laws, and everything. As long as they're satisfying the king in terms of bringing them in wealth and money, they were allowed to control everything about this. But again, everything was designed to take care of needs. So you have, of course, people working the crops. Well, once you work the crops and you harvest the food, you got to have a place to do with it. So they, of course, had the mill, which was close by. You need tools in order to work the farms and get the goods and things you need. So you have the village blacksmith right here. You, of course, had the townspeople's homes because, of course, they had to have a place to live. And usually they came with small parcels of land so that they could grow their own vegetables and their own livestock to feed themselves. So everything has a purpose. And, of course, you even have a church because, remember, religion is a huge part of the Middle Ages. Again, most people were more loyal to their religion than they were to the nobles or any kings or queens in this system. And, of course, you a lot of times had water running through so that you could carry goods down the way as you went. So the bottom line is that the whole idea was to make everything self-sufficient. So this is just another version of this. You see the manor, of course, the top of this one fancier has walls, so this particular lord would have more money. But again, you have the water mill, the workshops, the serfs' houses, the fields they work on. The fields were usually numbered and the crops were rotated each season. But everything you needed to survive was created on these manors. You did not want to engage in outside help. Okay? So what are you going to do for this particular activity is in the Schoology folder, you're going to find a text. And that text is all about something I'm not sure. So what you're going to do in this particular activity in Schoology is you're going to find a text that looks